What's up, everybody? Trice here with yet another episode of Trice Watches Stuff. Here we are with probably my number one most anticipated film of this year. Now, Trice facts, I am a gamer. I've been a gamer since I was a child, and I owned the very first Mortal Kombat game when it came out back in 1990 whatever. So I'm actually one of those weirdos who actually cared about the story of Mortal Kombat. So obviously when I heard that this movie was coming out, I was all over it. I watched the original movie. I watched Annihilation, the travesty that it was aside. I saw Mortal Kombat Conquest, the show when it came on. I saw, Mortal Kombat Rebirth. I've had a good chunk of the game. Let's just say, I love Mortal Kombat. Now, I'm going to get straight to the point. They released the first 7 minutes of this film onto, I think, the HBO Max YouTube channel and also HBO Max for free, before the release of the movie. Those 7 minutes, you could have never heard of Mortal Kombat in your life, but watching those would definitely make you want to see the movie. It was amazing. They took two of the franchise's most recognizable characters. They have a massive rivalry in the games, and they opened the film with that. They focused on this rich history, and it somewhat lived up to the violence of the games, even though CGI blood is a little janky, I'm not gonna lie. But those first 7 minutes, incredible. And I feel like it was the first sign of a bait and switch. I'm not gonna lie, because the rest of the movie, for me, did not live up to those first 7 minutes. I wish it did, but they, for the most part, stayed true to the franchise, which a lot of people will find important, especially if you were a gamer the way that I am. We always want some authenticity when it comes to adapting these stories, and I definitely appreciate that. But they introduced, a new character, which is, I'm not going to say it's fine, because I just didn't really find that character to be very interesting, and I also thought that he wasn't even necessarily vital to the story. I feel like they could have taken him out and it really wouldn't have made that much of a difference. I don't think that we got very attached to him. We didn't get very attached to his family. We didn't get very attached to his connection to the Mortal Kombat tournament. And I was just like, and I like Louis Tan, the actor. I like him. I like him in series on Netflix, Wu Assassins. He's great in that. I love him in that. He was not bad in this movie. His performance was, there was nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. It just, the role, Cole was just, we just didn't need him. Now, I will say, fight scenes were cool. The characters that they chose to use were cool. They actually, foreshadowed some characters that may be shown in, future films, which I'm all for. I will continue to watch the series if they do put out those other movies that they plan to. It was just okay. It was just okay. There were some really great parts, some really great actors cast. I think I can't remember the actor's last name. I think his first name is Josh, who played Kano. He was amazing. He was highlight of the film. I was like, wow, Kano, I can't stand Kano, but he just made me interested in him. He made me want to see more of him. He was definitely well cast, for sure. He was just great. The fight scenes, for the most part, were cool, but I felt like the characters were they were present but underutilized in favor of Cole. Whatever. The film didn't have as much comedy as I kind of would have liked it to outside of Kano. And the comedy that it did have, I'm pretty sure was not on purpose. Was not on purpose. Let's just say they did my man Jax dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you see the movie, You will know what I mean right away. Like, how they had this man in this movie was so disrespectful. I mean, they tried to redeem it, but huh. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. You know, this franchise has a very rich history outside of this movie, and it still does. You know, I'm not saying that the movie took anything away from that, and there's a lot of potential for it to grow, especially when they start adding the other characters. But I feel like it got off to a pretty shaky start. I want to see it do well. I do. I love Mortal Kombat. I think that the story deserves to be told in a way that lives up to it, you know? So I'm going to keep giving it a chance, obviously, but this movie itself just it just didn't do it for me. I'm sorry. Like, you know, it was enjoyable. I'm not going to sit there and say that it wasn't, but it just wasn't what I wanted to see. Personally, I know there are a lot of people out there who did enjoy it, you know, who got some nostalgia feels. You know, I had some of those myself. And like I said, I'll continue to watch the franchise when the other movies come out, you know, if that actually ends up happening. I hope it does. But I do hope that some things are examined a bit further and given more consideration in future installments. So why don't you guys, you know, let me know what you thought in the comments. And I'll